better not tell nobody. You hear me? This is our special little secret. And you're a special little girl.
If I was you, I would hardly be crying. It's a good thing you have a miscarriage. I mean, you definitely don't need no more kids. A writer. Hollywood. Girl, bye. Brandy can't be serious. And you know she ain't skinny enough or pretty enough. Girl, shh. Here she come. Don't say nothing. Hey, Brandy girl.
That's too deep. Look at me, baby. Do I look sick? You must have got that from somebody else.
You've been here long enough to know how we dress. Us holy women, we wear skirts.
A Christian? Girl, quit playing. What you mean? You don't drink or smoke no more? Brand, you done turned straight corny. Girl, you better hit this. You better hit this.
A WaterWalker is one who takes every negative word, demoralizing setback, and devastating experience meant to kill you and use it instead as a platform to walk into your purpose. It was right there, in the face of defeat, that the voices of suicide ambushed me. Yet somehow, even at my worst moments and lowest hour, I didn't give in. As impossible as it seemed, there was a greater force at work in my life, working even the pain out for my good. Maya Angelou said it best when she said, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you." I've held my story in for so long that it became toxic, and now it was spilling over every area of my life. This agony is unbearable, and now I am desperately ready to be set free. Fear held me captive for so many years that I actually believed I'd die if I faced it. But now I'm willing to die if it means having just one moment to finally live. That moment is now.
If you would be so kind as to just lend me a second, I'd like to talk to you about this very moment. For the Spirit of the Lord is upon me.
Going through this with you. I'm not.
Going through what?
Going through this. The same old lying that you do to me all the
Lying?
time.
How you gonna call me a liar?
I know you lying. You say the same
About what?
all the
Why
time.
are you talking to me
You
so
know
loud in front of this man? Why are you talking to me loud like this?
You know what? Because I'm tired of you.
I'm a man. You can't talk to me like that.
You know what? You will act like a man and be responsible.
What you mean act
Take
like a
care of your
man?
family.
What do you mean?
I'm sick of this.
Look, you're not gonna keep on talking to me like no child in my house.
My name is BrandyWine, and I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. The fear of death first began to overwhelm me as a small child. It manifested itself through constant worry, depression, and routine visits with a psychologist. Anxiety and panic attacks met me somewhere between my parents' constant fighting and being molested by a family member.
You better not tell nobody. You hear me? This is our special little secret. You my special little girl.
Finances were strained, and we lived in the heart of violence and poverty. I'm the youngest of 5, 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and I trumped everyone when it came to playing the baby card. My mom and dad were both active in my life, despite their marriage continuing to fail. My older sister taught me how to read, and I fell in love with creative writing and poetry.
There are games to be won. The magical things you can do with that ball will make you the winningest winner of all. Fame? You'll be famous as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win on TV.
Babe, I can be on TV.
You can do anything you want to do.
Over time, our friends and neighbors began to notice our parents' constant fighting, and either it became more intense, or as I got older, I just began to understand more of what they argued about. I didn't really know all the details, but one day, my mother packed all of our things up and moved us across town, away from my father. In time, my father moved back in with us, and the fighting, which was at times physical, continued. My anxiety began to heighten. Through the years, I was always up under my mom, and we became extremely close, talking about and doing everything together. Yet no matter how disappointing life became or how upset I made either of my parents with my choices, I could always find comfort in my mother's arms.
You ugly, you stink, you a bum, and you're nothing but a bum, your whole family a bum. Ooh,
Milton, I'm so tired of you messing with
I got older, but adjusting to a new neighborhood wasn't an immediate thing, and neither was it easy to be accepted.
What's wrong, baby?
Milton Walker,
Having heart was something I had to learn quick. Kids didn't care why I didn't have the latest name brand clothes. They just wanted to make what I didn't have known.
I don't know. He just pushed me down, called me all these names, and everyone laughed.
Oh my God. Were there any adults around? Did anybody say anything to him?
No.
Ooh, that burns. Do you have his phone number? You know what? Let's call him. I'm gonna call him. Watch. Don't say a word. Don't say a word. Because I'm saying somebody, a boy should have got him. Did one of the little boys try to help you?
No.
Come up here. Let's see what happens. Watch this. Don't say a word. Hello? Yeah, can I speak to Melton? Hey, Melton, what's up, man? Listen, I hear you up at the school pushing little girls down and beating up on little girls. What? No, don't get to crying now, you little punk. You do it again, I'm going to see you. No, you do it again. You'll be pushing on the little girls. You do it. Watch what happens to you. Can you believe that? You didn't think I would do it, did you?
At age 17, I met my high school sweetheart named Raymond. We married when I was 21. He was handsome, funny, well-known in the streets, and he always knew how to make me feel special. He sacrificed so much of himself to support his family and friends, and I love that about him. I began to experience dreams with him that were very special, and they gave us both a new hope.
Hey, I see the penitentiary one day, running from the police, that's right. Mama catch me, put a whip into my backside.
What you know about that? What you know about Pac? What? Man, love Pac.
Man, Pac, a lot of people look up to Pac, man.
Yeah, he a legend. He is a legend.
Like he made something of himself,
yeah,
you know.
Definitely.
A lot of people look up to Pac. I look up to Pac. But you know, it even had me to ask myself the same question. I know who I am to a certain extent, but I don't know. I just feel like I need to make some changes in my life. I don't know. I mean, I know who I am. I know what I do. I'm in the streets. I hustle. I do what I do to survive, you know. But if it was the police, you know, a school teacher, if they was to look at me and you ask them what do they see, they'd probably tell you just another dude in the street. When they look at me, they don't see college material, whether that's educated. But that's who I want to be. I want to make some changes in my life.
Becoming best friends was easy, and he proposed with an engagement ring during my senior year. We had just given our lives to Christ, joined the church, and life was so good. I felt on top of the world. As a kid, all I wanted was a happy marriage, 2 cars, and a job. That was my American dream, and now I had finally achieved all of it. However, nothing could prepare me for what would happen next.
We don't need another political uprising.
Ramon did change his life, but 3 years later he died with cancer. His doctors promised a new treatment would help him and made plans for him to go, yet they never sent him. I found him blue on the floor one day and barely breathing. He was discharged to hospice shortly after. When I challenged his doctors, they said I was in denial and he would have died anyway. There was one sentence in his obituary about me. My name was misspelled and it lied, saying we met and married in the same year. If that wasn't enough, people close to us broke into our home, stole and damaged our things, and I lost everything. I had become a widow and I felt like I was about to completely lose my mind. I became extremely angry with God and turned away from him. How could the God I serve allow such horrible things to happen to me?
Lord.
Stop running.
I have been writing since I was a kid. Poetry was always a great outlet for me. From the street corners
I want to shower you with all the blessings you
to the open mic spots.
Stains, repeat, stains, release blood pressure. I love
My hard-working word become permanent etches upon my face.
I found some of the greatest inspiration from hearing others on the mic.
a charitable deed for which I am unworthy to receive. It should have been me. Blood shed on my behalf.
Chosen to break cycles within my family.
The women I heard didn't just speak words of love, peace, and confidence. They lived it, and it was empowering.
Absolute purgation. Call me free. Thank you.
Watching a 6-year-old sing like that really made me examine my life. If a baby could praise like that and have hope, why had I let mine be stolen? But it was really the word that made me feel like I was the only one sitting there, and that preacher was talking directly to me.
But if you hold on to unforgiveness, if you hold on to bitterness, you run
Nothing
the
I
risk
did took the pain away. Not the drinking, smoking, premature dating, not the sex, nothing. I felt so broken it seemed nothing and no one could fix me. Many nights I had to wrestle with myself and the voice that told me it will all be better if I just ended my life. Although I hated my life and I hated myself, I struggled not to give in. Even in my stubbornness, I knew God was still at work in my life, and I was exhausted from trying to live without Him. Hate and unforgiveness consumed me, and I couldn't go on that way. It was time for me to totally surrender. For the next 7 years, I received restoration. I met a remarkable guy that I work with named Thomas. Thomas was kind, easy to talk to, and I would always tease him about not being able to handle me because he was younger than I was. Thomas and I had a lot in common, and the fact that he enjoyed poetry and was an artist was a big plus in my book. Thomas always listened to the challenges I faced, and instead of rushing my healing process about Raymond, he literally held my hand and became a part of the process with me. Thomas's proposal was beyond incredible, especially when he stood at the cemetery and asked Raymond for my hand.
Raymond, I wanted to come to you to ask for Brandy's hand in marriage. I wanted to let you know that I love her dearly, and I would take very good care of her, so you don't have to worry.
I gladly accepted Thomas's proposal, but moving forward was anything but easy. Guilt, shame, and grief began to overtake my heart, mind, and my dreams. You see, deep in my heart, I believed that Ramon was outraged that I could even think of remarrying or moving forward with my life. Dreams like these continued for years until I realized Ramon loved me and wanted the future for me that meant greatness. Grief recovery also taught me how to release the grief. Finally, the big day was here, and Thomas and I got married. Several of my bridesmaids fainted, my veil caught fire, and it was eventful to say the least. The future looked so bright until a year later when my mom died with lung cancer. I was devastated. How could the woman who's been my rock from the beginning now be gone? How would I make it without her?
Brandy, you are my last baby in the whole world. There is nothing more the doctors can do for me. You have to be strong. You have to be strong now, baby. Everything's gonna be all right.
My mom didn't have any life insurance, so we literally had to raise the money to bury her. That same year I was fired. We had another sudden death in our family. Our first home was broken into and vandalized. Our van was stolen from church during service. And we found out we were pregnant with our fourth child, who was severely ill. Our daughter Brielle was born premature with severe intestinal blockage. She underwent 3 major surgeries, was on the ventilator 3 times, and she spent the first 7 months of her life in the hospital. With 4 kids total now, it was extremely challenging for our family. Despite having to endure some of life's most impossible situations, God gave unbelievable victories to us as well. I made it my mission to help encourage others whose situations made them want to give up, just like I did. I wrote and published 4 books and became licensed as a minister. My husband was a musician with 4 albums, had his music in a few movies, and he was also a licensed minister.
Yo, play. Steady long, steady long. Steady long, steady long.
That's the last spade in the house. I already know what it is.
We are one of the most competitive couples to know, and so it was the absolute best experience to be contestants on The Family Feud. On the home front, we faced serious financial challenges. Taking 2 steps forward was like being knocked back 4. Main utilities were being disconnected, and once again, I found myself in the fight of my life. I know God didn't bring us this far to leave us here, and the call for greater is permeating within. I have an audition today that can change my family's entire life. By winning, I will not only receive a scholarship to finish my journalism degree, I have a chance to host a new poetry show on a major network. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm extremely nervous, but destiny is calling my name, and I'm more than ready to answer it. There were 2 judges, and I had to do 4 different poems for them. When I walked up to the mic, I had already started sweating because I was so nervous. Plus, it didn't help that the microphone screeched when I began talking. The judges' faces were stern at times. The lady was friendly, I guess, but they would turn and whisper to one another, and they stuck to writing on their sheets. Other than that, they offered nothing, especially the man. He didn't even offer a smile. He looked like a black Simon Cowell, and man, it was frustrating.
You may now begin.
You are the reflection of the woman I strive to be, a water walker. Gracefully empowered from toe to heel, each footstep creates a global movement. Globally treading victoriously upon lukewarm waters of defeat, bitterness, grief, double-minded opinions, and moldy leftovers of rotted judgment, you walk upon it all. They rated me on things like content, creativity, and personality. I am serving you this written notice to hereby notify you that you are being officially a victim. You have exactly 7 seconds to get out of the essence of my heart, mind, soul, emotions, children, marriage, finances, education. This is my official declaration that of you, I am free. This is my formal resignation. Eardrums no longer receive waves and vibrations of your voices of intimidation. Before I knew it, I began journeying somewhere really deep down within myself. I could hear the voices of the little girl inside. She was very much alive, still hurting and broken. For years I thought she was healed, but she was only hidden. It's funny how God sets things up. Today I thought it was all about this audition, but the life-changing event was happening right inside of me. The events that tried to shame me shaped me. I'm not only a survivor, I'm an overcomer. And by God's grace, I'm still standing. My misery became my ministry, and it was in the pain that I found the courage to embrace the power of my voice. In these moments, I confronted every demon from my past and took authority over my future. The chains are broken, and I am free. Sometimes God uses pain to give us the courage to overcome the impossible. My name is BrandyWine, and I am a water walker. I hope your story inspires you to become one too.
I think it's only fair that we give it back.